And good morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. We've got a big show on tap for you today. So your Gen Zs and your Millennials that you have in your home, I want you to talk to them. If you're getting ready to drop them off at school, ask them something for me. When they're walking around and looking at the other kids that are at school with them, I don't care if you are in junior high, you are in high school, or even in college. Do you like them to wear something like this, like a baggy sweatshirt and then more fitted jeans, or a tighter aspect of those Lululemons that they love so much? Or do they like tight on tight? I'm sure moms and dads, especially dads, don't like the tight on tight. You know what I mean? However, that's the argument right now on TikTok, a big controversy of whether it's tight on tight or baggy and tight. And then we're also going to talk about the differences with generations. We did generational talk back in December and it was very popular. So it's a series we want to continue. This is episode 2 in Gen or generational talk. So ask your kids right now, ask them, do they like tight on tight category or tight on baggy, and then weigh in for us. Of course, if you're a Gen X or you are a baby boomer, feel free to weigh in as well, because I did get a chance to talk to a ton of people yesterday. We're going to drop those videos in of what their viewpoints are, and it will be very interesting to see our own audience where you weigh in on this battle. All right, we're going to do that in just a second. We're also going to give you some news you can use, some little talkers, some water cooler talk that we used to say, and then we'll give you some sports news, and then we're going to get into this. And I'm actually going to have my assistant Jenny Egan, which a lot of you see her dropping in comments and moderating for you. She will be coming in to talk with me about that. We're going to have a lot of fun. So I'm hoping that you are very interactive with this morning. And again, do us a favor and share on Facebook, on YouTube. Make sure you are following and subscribing on those pages. Let's continue to get those numbers up and start reaching all around the world. All right, weather-wise, from our immediate area, we're going to have Beckett Moore join us again tomorrow. He is our aspiring meteorologist, and he's going to break down for us the severe weather that unfortunately is heading into our area yet again. So this is what we're looking at. For today, you're okay. 63. It's actually a little chilly. Some of you are in the 30s this morning, but the majority in the low 40s. Our high, though, with some sunshine, 63. We do have the Cardinals on tap again tonight. 58 for a low and breezy. Tomorrow, showers are likely. We're talking about possibility of hail, tornado, damaging winds, all of that. And it could be moving in a little earlier. The timing and some of the models are showing differences. So will it affect your morning commute? Hopefully not. Hopefully that can get underway. You can maybe be back home. And then this is going to start to pull in by midday and into the afternoon and into the late afternoon, and then wrap up into the evening. Again, storms likely and severe. 78 is going to be warm as well. Then Thursday and Friday, here's the problem. Saturday and Sunday, rain, rain, rain. So what does that mean? We could have some flooding issues. The highs in the mid 60s, dropping into the mid to upper 50s for the weekend. And then next week, we're not talking rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but a slight chance coming in on Thursday. So the big watcher again is going to be tomorrow. We'll be talking about that. That'll obviously kick things off as we start for you tomorrow morning. Now, what I did for a big majority of my career was traffic reporting as well as news anchoring. I want to give you some traffic issues that's going to affect not only those of us that live here, but if you know anybody that's traveling into the area in St. Louis and in St. Clair County, there's two things that are going to affect you. Let's start with the one in St. Louis. There is a portion of 55 that is going to close in St. Louis this weekend. MoDOT plans to close all lanes, folks. All lanes of northbound lanes of 55 at Carondelet, that's at River City Boulevard area, from 9 p.m. Friday until 9 a.m. on Saturday. 2 lanes will then reopen at that point. Drivers can detour around the closure by turning right on River City Boulevard, left on Broadway, and then follow it back to the interstate. So you are being forewarned during this closure. Crews will place concrete on the driving surface of the new bridge over the Union Pacific Railroad right between River de Pere and Loughborough. The work, of course, is weather permitting, however, and with us talking about rain, 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 this could be delayed. And so could this one. Emergency bridge repair deck closures. This is for 5570 in St. Clair County. The lanes of 5570, pretty much from 203 to I-64, will be closed. 2 westbound lanes of the interstate closed, and that will be from Monday until 3 p.m. on Wednesday. 2 eastbound lanes closing at 6 o'clock. They just closed this morning and will reopen by 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. So that's for our St. Louis side and the Illinois side. Now, pretty much if you flip around any national news this morning, you'll be hearing about President Trump and the tariffs, which we've been hearing about and talking about for the last several weeks. Many people also looking at their 401ks and looking at their financial portfolio. They're saying that this is one of the worst first quarters in the last few years. Hopefully, we'll be able to say that's resurrected. Turbulent financial markets, again, bracing for the news on the Trump tariffs. Now, according to President Trump, he said he's not concerned when the stocks plunge. The White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, said that Trump's not concerned. The president has always said the stock market is a snapshot of a moment in time, and he's doing what's best for Main Street. She said, quote, Wall Street will work out just fine in this administration, just like they did in the first one. She did decline to say how many countries would face the tariffs in Trump's announcement coming tomorrow, but said they would offset unfair treatment that the U.S. has faced for decades. So they're trying to correct the problems we've seen in the past. Now, I've been talking about this. Every day that we come on, it seems like we're talking about yet another recall. We're talking about problems in our food. And it really makes you wonder, what can you eat anymore that is safe? So here's the latest recall. And if you have this in your refrigerator right now, you might want to dump this out. More than 212,000 pounds of liquid egg products have been recalled because, get this, they may contain bleach. If you have these products in your fridge or your freezer, you are asked to throw them away. According to the USDA, Cargill Kitchen Solutions is recalling some egg substitutes from the Egg Beaters and Bob Evans brands. 32-ounce carton of Egg Beaters Original Liquid Egg Substitute, the Cage-Free Original Liquid Egg Substitute, as well as the Cage-Free Original Frozen Egg Substitute, and the carton of Bob Evans Better in Eggs made with real egg whites. And a lot of these have the use-by date of August of 2025. Again, they also have establishment number G1804 printed on the carton. No confirmed reports, thankfully, of illness due to the recall, and that the risk is negligible. This is for the products confirmed to be shipped to Illinois, as well as Iowa, Florida, Colorado, California, Arizona. Now, there is a possibility they were distributed nationwide, however, which is why we're doing that for your news you can use. But we do know it has at least been in our Illinois area. Okay, for those of you that have kids that go to MU, this is not good news from a health standpoint. This is probably going to get really frustrated for a lot of you parents. So it seems if you have Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, they're ending their services with MU Health. That's according to a news release. MU Healthcare's more than 1,200 providers, 80 clinics, 7 hospitals will be removed from Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and HealthLink commercial plans that patients get through their employer or the Affordable Care Act. MU says this means patients may have to pay more out of pocket to see their MU healthcare doctors, and the care teams or may need to find a new in-network provider for their care. Again, this announcement just coming out, and according to the latest press release, they said, we're disappointed that MU Healthcare canceled the negotiation meeting that was scheduled instead of providing a response. Their current proposal, and again, this is from Anthem, was valid, and it included reasonable payment increases that were in line with other Missouri health systems. MU Healthcare's proposed price increases would increase healthcare costs many times faster than wage growth for Missouri consumers. They said that we cannot agree to price hikes of this magnitude for our members. Standing up for affordable care for all Missourians is part of our mission. Again, that was a statement from Anthem. So there have been times, however, that things have been changed. So we'll follow this one. If there's any new information, we'll, of course, pass it along to you. Well, this is super cool. Are you a big fan of gymnastics, the Olympics, and this woman, Simone Biles? How awesome. She is going to give the commencement address at Washington University. The address will be May 12th at 9 a.m., just being announced this morning at Francis Olympic Field, the honorary doctorate of humane letters. Yep, Biles, the most decorated gymnast in history, taking the stage to speak to your students, the graduating class this year, on Monday, May 12th. During the ceremony, she receives that honorary Doctor of Humane Letters. Very cool. I want to go to that. I didn't get a chance to put a slide together with this, but a new restaurant coming to our area. The team actually behind Yellow Belly is opening a raw bar later this year. It will have a full dinner menu and a beverage program centered around martinis and cocktails and dynamic wines. Extra Wavy is the name of the place. It will open at 2017 Shoto Avenue, 2017 Shoto Avenue. In the summer or the fall of this year, the space for Extra Wavy was previously used by PW Pizza right there on Shoto. In entertainment news, the Beatles biopic their cast right now has been revealed. Paul Mescal will play Paul. Joseph Quinn will play George. Barry, is it Keoghan as Ringo, and Harris Dickinson as John. I was asking my team if they knew these names. I'm not familiar with these names, but I think this is going to be cool. Sony confirming the cast. It's being directed by Sam Mendes, and the film's release will be in a truly daring fashion in April. This is a long time off, folks, of 2028. But remember that you heard it right here. Well, the Cardinals have suffered their first loss of the season, and it happened yesterday at the hands of LA. They beat our Cards. The final was 5-4. The Angels and the Cardinals tonight, 6:45. And again tomorrow. Tomorrow's game, though, will be at 12:15. In hockey news, St. Louis Blues are in action against the hated Detroit Red Wings. Hey, they have won 9. Our Blues have won 9 games in a row, going for 10 tonight. The face-off is at 7 p.m. The Penguins and the Blues then on Thursday at 7 p.m. And then it's the Avalanche and the Blues on Saturday at 6 p.m. And then our National Day of Calendar. And one of these things I'm going to talk to Jenny about in just a second. I can't believe we didn't know about this because she would have brought some in for us. That thing you see at the bottom, National Sourdough Bread Day. That woman can bake. She made one for me and Jim, and it was to die for. This chocolate chip, oh, delicious. Take Down Tobacco National Day of Action. That changes annually. National Tomfoolery Day. The SAAM Day of Action, and that is the first Tuesday in April. And then National 1 Cent Day, which, by the way, those pennies are going away. And it's April Fool's Day, so be careful because you just might be fooled by someone today. I have tried for many years to try to pull off an April Fool's with somebody, and I can't do it. Are you like me where you just start laughing? You try to deliver to something. I was going to try to do it to Zach, our director, today. And I'm like, I can't. My husband's like, come on, do it. Nope. I would start laughing. I can't do it. But for those that are really able to pull one off, do me a favor, drop in the comments of anything that you've been involved in where you were the one that was fooled, or maybe you do the fooling. So today, again, I'm just letting you know, April Fool's Day, in case you haven't looked at the calendar. So be careful with that. All right, all of you that are signing on, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great morning. We are going to have a little fun with you now. So do me a favor. It is 7:18 in the morning. So I don't know if you've dropped the kids off yet, or maybe some of the kids are at home. If they are, have them weigh in today. If they fall in the category of Gen Z or millennials, or I did have some Gen X's weigh in on this because I want everybody to be heard. We're going to talk about the workout clothes saga going on TikTok, and actually maybe the way your kids are just dressing in general. But remember when you were a kid, right? Your parents didn't like probably what you wore either. We're going to talk about tight on tight or tight on baggy. And then we're going to, if we get a chance and we have some time for this, we've got some other topics that people are weighing in on having to do with this: eye contact and communication, respect between generations, technology with generations, all these things. And I want to thank everybody that I taped yesterday that we're going to be showing throughout the show for taking some time to give us their viewpoints on this. Jenny Egan is going to sit in the white chair with me, and we're going to discuss this with you when we return.
Carroll House is now the contemporary furniture design center.
We now have the largest selection of the latest ultra-modern furniture.
Sleek European designs, unique metals, bold lacquers, plush fabrics, and retro styles.
Modern furnishings with exclusive collections only at Carroll House.
Plus free financing, free delivery and setup, and free in-home design.
Visit the St. Louis Center for Contemporary Design inside our 3.5-acre showrooms at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
It's time for Generational Talk, episode 2. Okay, we did this a handful of months ago. Actually, that show went on for about 2 hours. I had my entire team weighing in on what those topics were at that point. Today, Jenny Egan, now I'm going to introduce you maybe to her for the first time. You've been seeing her comment with you. She's taken over the moderating where we used to have Michelle in there. Michelle is now doing a little brand representative for me. I saw that she changed her title in one of her emails. And I was like, go girl, represent, Michelle. Jenny, though, is now joining us. So first of all, welcome. Let me pull that into you. Good morning.
Good morning.
So Jenny's usually behind the scenes. She's joining us today because we want to talk about these things. And I can't wait for you to hear what people were talking about yesterday. You've got kids at home. And we're going to hear from one of them, by the way. They're how old?
10 and 15.
10 and 15. So they fall in the, well, do they both fall into the Gen Z?
Yes.
Okay, so but there you go. There's the breakdown but it also depends on where you look, because sometimes I look at these and they break down the generations different. But for the most part, there's a look for you. If you are born between 46 and 64, you're a baby boomer. Generation X, which is what I fall in, is 65 to 80. Millennials are 81 to 96. So we're going to talk about millennials and Gen Z today. Gen Z is 1997 to 2012. And then Generation Alpha is 2013 to the present.
Oh.
Okay, so that's McKenna, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you've got an Alpha and then you have a Z at home, which is fun. Okay, I don't know why people say, why can't they just have X, Y, Z? They actually do. So millennials are also Gen
That
Y.
is so confusing.
They have to have their own category. And that might be a whole topic in itself. One of the things that's on TikTok right now, and I don't know if you saw this, but I took some pictures of the video and there was a sound behind it. And so in these two outfits that you see her wearing, she showed up on screen. It was a leggings and that cute sweater. And a lot of people were like, where'd you get that sweater? I need that sweater. And then the leggings and a hoodie. And it was this sound that said, approved. And then the next one was, I don't know. And she was scratching her head. So let's go back and look at those for a second again. So your first one again in what is this little bit of a baggier look, and then the tighter on the bottom. This is the baggy on tight crew, right? And so the tight on tight is the next one where they're saying, I don't know. So are you, all of you that are watching, feel free to weigh in on this. Are you tight on tight or are you tight on baggy? Let me ask you. So for you and for your kids, what would you say you are?
Well, I think we're all tight on baggy, but I think Alyssa's generation loves the tight on tight, but the mom mode in me is like, let's just do tight on baggy.
Can you please not show and reveal so much? I had a lot of people that weighed in on this yesterday of all walks of life. And we didn't just stay in the category of Gen Z and millennials. Yeah. We also have a Gen X and a baby boomer that weighed in because I want this to be everybody talking. If you're a parent or a grandparent, you probably don't like the tight on tight.
Right.
But they also, the overwhelming theme that I heard was confidence. Yeah. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. Let's start off, though, with Brittany. And Brittany's a coach, so she sees a lot of this in the gym, and she also weighed in on herself. So here's what Brittany felt.
Hi, my name is Brittany Wilson, coach here in St. Louis. I fall into the Gen Z category, born in 1990, so I'm like on the tail end. But as far as tight or baggy clothes in the gym setting, I feel like I fall in the middle. You'll catch me in a sports bra and shorts working out. You'll also catch me in sweatpants, a baggy t-shirt working out. So I guess I'm in the middle. I can see both sides to it. I do feel like maybe millennials are just a little bit more conservative in that way, where they wear more coverage, as to where Gen Z, I think those girls are starting to feel a little bit more confident. This is what we see online as far as what people are wearing when they work out. There are some things that I think are a little too revealing, like with the butt cheeks hanging out, or I don't see the need to be working out in your bathing suit. But if you do, to each their own. But I can see where millennials would see kind of like, why would they do that? I can see where it'd be a little bit confusing. But for me, I kind of fall in the middle. Wear whatever you're comfortable wearing. Wear what feels right. I can see both sides as to why one would wear the other, but whatever gets you in the gym and working out.
I love that. Exactly. Whatever gets you in the gym and working out.
Right.
It really is the message I hope you hear today is you do you. Let me reset here. If you're just tuning in, and I know so many of you will tune in every second, every day, but I want you to come back to this if you have to run off because it's going to be a fun one. I'm sure we're going to be laughing a lot with everybody's comments and weighing in. So Brittany, again, is a coach. And look, the woman's in incredible shape.
She is.
I mean, she truly is. She's like a walking billboard for fitness. So she would do the tight on tight, but I see she likes, as a lot of Gen Z, the big oversized sweatshirts, right? From a comfort level. But from in the gym though, and this is me being around since 1999 as a personal trainer, I don't understand working out in baggy clothes from a movement standpoint.
I mean, I do see it from that standpoint. That's why I feel like I fall in between on that sometimes.
So if you're, and you are going to come work out with me because we're going to do this together. We're talking about this, by the way, this gym that's being built here. We can't wait for. So when you work out, would you be in your Know Your Value t-shirt?
Yeah, Know My Value t-shirt. I mean, I'm always in yoga pants. I'm a big athletic girl, so
I like
it.
Say
But
this
I
is
like
baggy.
I like the baggier up top. I don't like a super tight top and a super tight bottom.
But
like
what
I
would you
wear
say
a
that was?
t-shirt normally to the gym.
But see,
with the leggings.
and I guess this is where, again, it's confusing and it's all in where you fall in perception, which we're going to do a show on.
Right.
That shirt, I wouldn't, here, open up.
I would consider this tight for sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But you would work out in that, right? No?
Maybe.
With me. That's the other thing that Jenny talked about. How many of you would agree on that comment that she's like, I don't like going into gyms? It's a confidence issue, but it's also, did you say you kind of feel lost as what to do?
Yeah, lost of just knowing the way around it, what works for your body, what is safe for your body too. I mean, you have to know what you're doing when you get in there.
That's why you walk in with a personal trainer.
That's right. All the time, every time.
Okay, so today I did the baggy on, I wouldn't say tight, but fitted.
Yeah.
Okay, now, so.
Well, you got fitted up top and you have flared down bottom.
Correct. Right? So
that gives a whole different look to me.
I'm all over here. But typically, if you want to know where I would weigh in, I would say, I guess tight on tight. I would be more fitted. I don't like baggy. The other reason for this is, and as a trainer, I learned this from my mentor, rest in peace, Henry. I used to wear t-shirts and stuff, and he was like, will you please put sports bras on? And I was just like, whatever, you're just trying to see me. But it wasn't. It was to see every change and everything that we're trying to shred on you or define on you.
Yeah.
That's
and I think
what we
once
like.
you get to a certain point,
okay, there you
that
go.
becomes very, I don't know, it just makes more sense.
Yep.
You know, to where someone like me starting out,
you want to cover it up.
We're just not showing anything right now.
And how many of you, do you agree with this? I have a lot of clients that say, please do not put me in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hate mirrors.
I
What about
agree.
all of you? Again, we're doing this for you to weigh in. Okay, Linda says tight on baggy, tight on tight sometimes when working out. Paul, good morning to you. What do you think? Paul, you've been around gyms for a long time. Linda, you're right. Working out in baggy is harder. Baggy can get in the way. I agree. Jamie says she's going to change her mind. Okay, how about, we're going to show Jamie in just a second, but I want to okay, let's go ahead and go to Jamie. Jamie, I videoed yesterday, and now she said she wants to change her mind because now that she's hearing this article, but I can see when you hear a little bit more about the article, but here's what Jamie said yesterday.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm considered a millennial, and I am on tight for the gym and short socks. Not quite there yet.
And I love what you said, that you think it's more of a confidence issue, right?
I do. Tight on tight is my new way of life. 30 pounds heavier, I would have been a looser. It also depends on where you're working out, who I'm in company with, and where I feel comfortable at.
What'd you say?
I agree.
She agrees with that. So Jamie then is watching this morning and said she's going to change her mind here. She says tight on tight in the gym, but then tight on baggy when she's out and running around.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that because
exactly.
Yes. And I think that's probably what parents would say, please don't wear that out. Like you're running to the store, you're at the mall. Can you cover it up a little bit? Okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, because we all did it. Be honest. It's all about being real on this show. How many of you in a certain age, when you were going to the mall, and I don't know where all the kids go anymore, where are they hanging now?
Well, there really isn't a mall to hang at anymore. So
West
now
County's still
a lot of
there.
Oh, yeah.
And I do see actually a lot of traffic there, which makes me happy. Chesterfield, they just demolished.
I
Did
can't
you see
believe
that?
it. Yes.
It's
We just
so-
drove past it the other day.
It's like gone.
Gone.
Where do kids, can you all tell me, because I'm not a parent, where do kids hang like we used to hang
High
at the
school
mall?
games. things
Well,
like
we
that.
did that, but there's not like
Yeah.
this gathering area.
See, I live out in Wentzville, so we don't have, that's kind of a drive.
What about
for
the
these kids
Meadows?
that are not driving.
Do you take them to the Meadows?
I don't.
No?
Mm-mm.
Where do your kids hang? Because it used to be that you were leaving to go with your friends and
Yeah.
you would, you know where I'm going with this? You
Mhm.
would bring an extra pair of clothes.
Clothes and you change.
Tight on tight. And earlier you had Brittany saying no butt cheeks hanging out. I think that was one of the most
That's what we
hilarious
always
things.
say, cheeks.
Is it not true? Cover it
true.
up, ladies. Have some respect for yourself, which we're going to talk about respect in just a
Please.
second. Okay, let's also hear from Elena. So we're looking at the different generations. If you're just tuning in, we got about 43 of you on. Let's get these numbers up. Talk to your kids. In fact, I don't know if they've started yet. If not, maybe text them real quick and say, are you team tight on tight or team tight on baggy? And I'll go a little bit deeper. This was a New York Times article that I pulled this from, but here's Elena.
Hi, I'm Elena. I'm a Gen Z. I feel like tight clothes is way better than baggy clothes. The reason behind it is it's gonna lift up everything, nothing's hanging around, and also I'm more confident definitely when I'm at the gym and I'm wearing tight clothes.
Now, if somebody is in baggy clothes, Elena, what do you think? Are they trying to hide or is
I-
it a confidence issue?
No, I think it's just more comfortable. Sometimes I like baggy clothes, but I feel like if I'm gonna go to the gym, I wanna be a little more put together, so I feel like tight clothes is more put together and baggy clothes is just going out and doing whatever.
And I didn't ask this of anybody yet, but when you go into a gym, do you have makeup on? Do you have your hair done?
It differs. Sometimes I wear makeup. I don't really wear makeup. I'll wear sunscreen because I'm an esthetician. Always wear sunscreen. And my hair is always done, actually, yes.
Okay, last question, socks. Ankles or high?
Ankles. I'll never wear high socks ever. Ankles all the way. And
So
Okay, can we
funny.
talk about the sock thing? Because that is also a big
Yeah.
argument on TikTok.
Oh, I can't stand the high socks. I'm low socks all day long. I will never even try to change. And I don't understand why.
Who's wearing the high socks,
Like
by
it
the way?
takes up half your leg.
So I said this for people who are very big in the CrossFit community. That's a thing.
The high socks?
They wear the socks all the way up. Yep, I see a lot of the girls
What's
for
the
sure.
purpose?
Don't know. So CrossFitters, let me know why. I can't stand it. And so someone's like, when's the last time we actually wore long socks like that? And I
Yeah.
thought, when I was in grade school or junior high and we played basketball, we had our socks up
Yeah.
higher. Or when we played softball, you had your socks up and
Yeah.
obviously you had the little
I
stirrups.
mean, my dad used to wear them back in the day, I remember.
And
but-
by the way, there are still dads and grandpas that wear them and they wear them with sandals. And please don't do that. That's
a whole nother show.
That's wrong. Black socks with Birkenstocks. Okay, can we get on the Crocs thing? Gen Z and millennials, are you all big in the Crocs still? I can't stand Crocs.
can't
Everybody that watches the show knows I am
Tripping
not a Croc
hazard.
fan. What?
Tripping hazard.
Yeah, it is, right? I mean, I get the cute little things that they poke into it. What are those called, by the way?
I don't know, like the
Charms.
things. But my nephew got headlights for his birthday.
I mean, I will give this. You've done a great job, Crocs. I mean, because they just keep having to buy more and more and more.
That's right.
They are a tripping hazard. I think they've banned them at certain schools, right?
I don't know. I banned them
They're
at my house.
ugly. And then there were Croc heels when we talked about them in news. If you're just tuning in, The Real Monica Adams Show, having fun, being real today, and talking to the community. We called this man on the street reporting, right? So it's women on the street that I talked to yesterday in all generations. But weigh in for us. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Let's see. Janet says, I am a baby boomer and I really don't like tight things. I like a little bit baggy. I guess I'm not quite sure what I like, but I don't like the bag style. Right. Paul
Right.
says tight on tight when in the gym. You can focus on the muscle and feel the movements. That's
Okay.
most people. All right. Jamie says, God love Elena. She's the best. All right. So she was like,
She is so cute.
wasn't she cute?
She's so cute.
And she almost didn't record yesterday because she was like, no, I can't do it. I'm going to be on TV. And I'm like, you look adorable. Cut it out.
and
So
I love that she stated she gets ready to go to the gym. Like, that's something my generation wouldn't even think to do. Like, I don't put makeup on when I go to the
well,
gym.
but okay.
Do you?
No, but I come from work. So I already have
so you
makeup
already
on.
have makeup
If
on.
I was going in, that's the other thing. People try to put on a persona. I like real.
Right.
And so I used to say people who had their hair all done and their makeup done weren't serious. Now you really can't say that anymore because now you have people who are hardcore, but they want to be all dolled
Yeah.
up. Do you know how many people meet in the gym? Like they're
Well,
looking for someone?
That's probably, I mean, maybe that's just why some people go.
It is.
general.
It's a social hour for them.
It's a dating
Get off
hour.
of the cardio, by the way. Well, we're going to talk about that with Brittany in just a second. Get off of the cardio equipment and get off of the benches because we need to use them because we are
That's right.
serious. Stop showing up. Kristen says, my daughter is Gen Z and is tight on tight for the gym and short socks. Jamie just said no Crocs, right? Rose, I'm a boomer. When I walk, I'm liking tight, easier to walk. Paul is right. You are aware of the feel of the muscles. I hate baggy clothes. You feel like you can overeat because you have more.
Nothing humbles you more
You have
than
more
putting
room.
on tight clothes.
Love no-show socks. That's another thing.
Oh, yeah, the
right?
no-show, that's what I
Who's
wear.
wearing the long socks? Can you please tell me who's wearing the long socks? Linda says, OMG, I can't stand socks, low if any, and Crocs I'll never understand. They would make my feet sweat. Rose. Oh, Rose says, I wear Crocs around the house. Keeps my leg
Sorry,
pain at a
Rose.
minimum. Yes, they're ugly. Hubby wears them. Can't get lucky with those on. Yes, I love being
Way to
real.
be real, Rose.
Yeah, sorry. You know how a guy wants you to put pumps on and stockings maybe? And to put some Crocs on? You'll kill it right away.
That's funny.
All right, hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got more weighing in on the tight on tight, tight on baggy, and then some other topics that you all weighed in on. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the New York Times article and what they had to say. But this is a big argument that's been going on with the approved. I don't know. We'll hear from you when we return.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Welcome back. Today's a fun day. You know, that's the thing about this show that I love so much is yesterday it was heartbreaking, but also inspiring. I hope you watched that. We've got, I think, well over 2,000 that have viewed that already. And a lot of people asking where they can donate. I will drop that link in. I did sponsor round 11. If you didn't watch yesterday, it all is about JTS, Fly High, and this wonderful scholarship. Tickets last night ended for the $20, but you can still go to the event this coming weekend for the JTS Fly High Scholarship. It is the Show Me the Money in Arnold, and tickets will be $25 at the door. I hope they pack that. I hope they get 300 people, and I can't wait to see the amount of money that is raised. So thanks for watching. If not, go back, and that's the beauty of streaming. You can go back and watch yesterday's show and keep sharing that like crazy, which, by the way, I've seen a lot of shares yesterday, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. One of the events coming up that I want you to know about is this, the third annual Dudes Playground Poker Run. And yesterday I talked to my dear friend Bo Matthews, who I used to work with at WIL. Bo's going to put Richard Melching from Dudes Playground on his show on KMOX coming up in June. I will have Richard on, along with many other people that he's tied into some big events that they have coming up. We just want to help the community. That's what we're here for. This is going to be free food and entertainment. I want to thank Trattoria Giuseppe because they stepped forward and they are donating some food. So thank you, Giuseppe and Grace. There are a lot of other people from the community that are helping out. If you want to help your veterans, disabled veterans at that, and be able to continue to do the work that Rich and Dudes Playground's doing, email me, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com, and let me know what you can do. Mainly get the word out. We're talking all vehicles, not just motorcycles, but all you Jeep clubs, motorcycles, as well as Mustangs and Corvette clubs. We want to see everybody out there. I'm a huge fan of beautiful classic cars just to look at them. Well, that is going to be a blast. It's $10 per poker hand. All vehicles welcome. They'll have a 50-50 as well. And I love that slogan. We get it. And that means they've been there. They understand. They get what you're going through, but they're here for a respite for you. And some sparklers at 9:15 that evening, June 21st. Mark it on the calendar. Start spreading the word. The 3rd annual Dudes Playground Poker Run. Jim and I will be there. It's our first poker run, by the way, Jenny. I've never done one before.
Me either. Andy and I will be there as well.
Yeah, Rich was like, "You've never done one?" He's got a Harley, but no,
Yeah.
we've never done one before. So looking forward to it for sure. We're going to have a great time with that.
For sure.
Okay, welcome back. Jenny Egan, who, by the way, a fun fact, and it was funny that she just said this to me, and I was like, yep, I was getting ready this morning and thought, let's drop this in. Jenny, what did you do for me for my wedding?
I did your hair and your makeup.
Yes. Yeah, or I should say our wedding. Boy, that was a fun day and a cold one. And a lot of craziness that happened.
Yeah,
But
lots.
what wedding isn't good without having a
That's
huge
right.
fun story behind
But it was
it?
absolutely stunning at the end.
It was.
It was perfect.
And she worked her butt off along with Kim. Kim, by the way, thank you. She helped out a lot as well. And Marianne, the three of you together.
Oh my gosh.
What a trio for sure.
It was wonderful.
So she does a great job. She also does a lot of very beautiful photography. If you want to hire her, how would they get a hold of you?
Thank you. They can just go to Jenny Egan Photography.
Jenny Egan Photography. So it's EGAN. Jenny Egan Photography. And yeah, she does really, really beautiful work. So if you've got a wedding or something coming up or family photos, Michelle had you take her family photos.
We did.
Yep. So anyway, if you're looking for a good photographer, we're weighing in on this New York Times article. So let me give you a little background on this. So it's an infamous war between millennials and Gen Z, and they have found a new battleground in recent weeks. They're arguing like crazy, by the way, just period. And this is a fight brewing on TikTok over workout clothes. Two camps, people who like wearing tight-on-tight outfits to the gym. So I want you to think leggings and a well-fitted tank top. And then those who prefer baggier ensembles. According to some users on TikTok, these preferences fall along generational lines, with millennial women favoring the tighter outfits. So in what we're hearing today, I don't know if it's really falling on those lines or if they kind of feel like they're falling in the middle. So again, millennials are saying they like tighter, but Brittany, you just heard her say that it was more Gen Z. As with all generational trends, these divisions are tenuous at best. However, on a platform like TikTok, rage arguments are often the coins of the realm. They can spread quickly and widely, even if most people do not actually feel strong allegiances to either side. So this debate about clothing tightness for both the gym and, for that matter, regular wear has been brewing for years. So by the way, Gen Z and millennial, it's not new. It became more popular though recently thanks to that TikTok sound of approved and I don't know that people have been using to model different outfits that they like or they dislike. And that was what first caught our attention. In the videos, the women are often wearing tight-on-tight ensembles when it gets to I don't know. Some millennial TikTok users have demonstrated their preferred skin tight, and I do mean skin tight, leaving nothing to the imagination,
and skin,
their workout gear, and proclaimed its merits or voiced surprise at learning their ideal workout clothes might make some people see them as older. The funny thing is, a Gen Z user modeling some different combinations described a tight outfit as giving middle school. Like it looked like they were going into middle school and they're like, that doesn't work.
No.
So again, this is the TikTok aspect. Where do you fall into this? Some people are saying they're absolutely frustrated to see that these discussions are always targeted towards women and that we're constantly trying to figure out like what the next trend is. So if your kids are still at home, I want you to talk to them and you can either have them follow us, make sure that they realize sometimes these topics are in their generation. I really love, I'm seeing a lot of them listen to our audio podcast, which I don't know if you all know, but we drop a podcast every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. And Hannah Ledford does a wonderful job editing those. So be sure to follow those because we usually take a topic from the week and it becomes one of our favorites. And then we drop that in on Thursday. So if you're an audio podcast listener, be sure to follow us and download those and take those with you. All right, we're going to go back to some of your comments. But let's continue on. Our next video, let's listen from Tori. Tori weighed in on the workout dilemma.
Hi, I'm Tori from Invita. I am a 27 Gen Z and I prefer the baggy workout clothes.
So if it was someone wearing tight on tight, what do you think?
I think it's okay. I think everybody should wear what they feel comfortable in.
So you think it's more of a confidence thing than it is a
Yes.
style thing? All right. Okay, so let's go back to that. Do all of you agree with that? Do you think it's a confidence thing? Because Jamie had mentioned earlier that if you talk to her now, like 20, 30 pounds lighter, that suddenly it changes because you're like, I want to show off my hard work.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think you would change camps if you pulled weight off of you? Weigh in on that for me, because you might be in a certain place right now, but then you go, I get it. However, there are things that are too revealing. I love the fact that Brittany said earlier, don't work out in your swimsuit and don't show your butt cheeks. And I'm going to put guys in this too, though. Sometimes you show a little too much right here.
A little too tight.
Yeah, I don't get it. There's a guy, by the way, that's on Instagram, and I'm like, is this a joke? Oh, no, it's not. It's a real thing. So
that's the other thing. All these tight shorts that these guys wear now.
And it's kind of back to the 70s where they're really, really short.
Yeah.
Well, there's a guy, though, that looks like he has his leggings painted on. And just constantly, every shot he does, his butt facing the camera.
Like just wears the leggings, no shorts.
Oh, yeah. And there's nothing left of the imagination. I'm just like, we don't need to see all that.
Again, confidence.
We don't need to see the twigs and berries. I'm just going to go there. Rose says, the house. Audra, bright, bold, obnoxious knee socks on the golf course. Oh, low socks for the gym, if I remember correctly. Yeah, probably need to go. Okay. Poker runs are so fun. Kathleen, you should come to that for sure.
Yeah.
Birkenstock shoes. I think I have about 3 pairs. They are so comfortable. And sometimes I wear socks with them. Not all the time, but they help my ankles because I have weak ankles. All right, Janet, that's a little different. Okay. If it's from a medical standpoint, I get that. And good morning. I am baggy on top. We're going to get to the team one in just a second. Tight on bottom, short socks. When I reach my weight goal, I will go tight on top and tight on bottom. Oh,
there you go.
I love Monica's workouts. Okay. How about we do that? Before we get to weighing in on a Gen Xer, which is Melody, let's hear from the team. So last night we were working out, and this is what my crew said.
Hi, I'm Janice, and I actually am a baby boomer, and I don't really care whether it's tight on tight or baggy on tight, whatever floats your boat and makes you comfortable.
Hi, I'm Kim, and I'm a millennial, and I like loose on top and tight on bottom, and ankle socks.
Hi, I'm Ann. I'm a baby boomer. I like loose top, tight bottoms, and ankle socks.
Hi, I'm Angie, and I am a Gen X, and I like loose on top, tight on the bottom, and little socks.
I am Danielle, and I'm a millennial, and I like tight on bottom, loose on top, but when I get hot, I like tight. But that's only when I get hot. And then ankle socks.
Getting hot in her.
Oh, yeah.
You want to invite everybody to come join your workout group?
This is amazing. If you want a really good workout, you need to work out with Monica. She will kick your butt.
That's right. I will kick your butt. Okay. They were so fun. Did you not love Janice in the beginning?
Yeah.
I don't care, right? So it's pretty much, by the way, she is 72 years
She's
old.
amazing.
Right?
I love her.
And she's lost about 30 something pounds. A lot of these ladies have an incredible walk of life where they've come from. And yes, I do believe it is one, they talked about confidence. Two, it's where you work out. So once you're with a group of ladies that they're comfortable with, I think if some guys started joining, that might change. You agree? That would change?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I belong to Club Fitness in Lake St. Louis, and they have a women's only lounge. So you can go in there and it's just strictly women, or you can work out co-ed.
Where hopefully women are not judging each other.
Right.
We need women to lift women up. Please. I've said that so many times on this show. Linda Eckert, I've been a bummer at times myself. A bummer. I think a lot of it is confidence, Kristen said. Yep. I feel like my other daughter wears a little more room in her clothes, not too baggy, when she goes to the gym. Boomer. Yes, that's what I thought. Rose, she's talking about boomer. Don't go with a trend. Do what makes you feel good and confident.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's hear from a Gen Xer, which is my generation. I weighed in myself, but let's hear from Melody. Here's what Melody had to say.
Hi, I am Gen X. And as far as my workout clothes would go, I prefer the tight versus the loose. I came from the generation that Jane Fonda was our idol and we wanted to look like her, headband and all.
Let me ask a question though, before we wrap up. Socks, length of the socks. Are you more anklets or are you higher up? Tube socks.
I'm more anklets and no-shows.
I don't know who wants to do these tube
But
socks.
don't forget about the leg warmers though. That I'm not into that again.
Let's get physical.
Exactly.
The headbands,
so
the leg
good.
warmers, right?
80s.
Oh my gosh, please do not bring that back. But yeah, I mean, think about Jamie Lee Curtis. And the cool thing is she was on Saturday Night Live and she redid that skit.
Yeah.
I really couldn't tell between then and now. The woman is still in incredible shape. So that goes back to the confidence thing.
Yeah.
But the leotards and the big leg warmers, Olivia Newton-John. Richard Simmons. Well, his shorts were crazy short. Rest in peace,
back
Richard.
to the
Oh my gosh, I met him at Channel 2. He was so funny.
Did you really?
Yes, he was
That's so
exactly
fun.
as you would expect him to be. Okay, we want a man to weigh in on this. So he is our director. You know, you hear me here talk about him all the time. Zach Kimball. Zach is weighing in for us.
Hey there, this is Zach Kimball, the director of The Real Monica Adams Show. I am a Generation Z and a member of the Tight exercise clothing group. You have long limbs, you know, I don't want to get tangled up in all the baggy clothes, so I prefer something tighter, a little closer to the body.
I just love him.
So
Don't
good.
you? You all need to see him more. We're gonna we need to start a segment with Zach.
I agree. I'll run that part. He can come in.
Oh, okay. You hear that? We got it. We're always looking for other people that want to direct the show. We have two more before we switch gears. And anything else that you want to weigh in on this? If you're just tuning in, we're doing this because there was a New York Times article that I caught just last week, and it had to do with tight on tight, tight on baggy, but it also talked about the socks and all these other things that they're fighting on. And it gets hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views, which is just crazy. People like arguing.
Yes.
It's literally the antithesis of what I want our show to be about. But people like negativity. I don't get it on TikTok, at least.
It's everywhere.
Gen Z millennials weighing in. So this is Jenny's daughter who falls in the Gen Z category. This is quick. So listen.
Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Melissa Egan. I'm 15 years old and I'm Team Baggy.
Okay, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. This is what's funny. How long did it take her to film that?
We literally sat there for 30 minutes.
To do 5
I even
seconds.
sent you outtakes because it was 4 seconds. And I was like, that's it. She's like, am I done? I'm like, you're done.
So, you know what? I just want her to be heard again. Can we play it one more time? Because it took her 30 minutes to do just that. So hit it again, Alyssa.
Hi, I'm Melissa Egan. I'm 15 years old and I'm Team Baggy.
I'm going to be in so much trouble when I go.
Okay, did you ask McKenna what would she have been?
Yeah, she said she was Team Baggy as well.
Team Baggy. So they do like something.
Which is really funny because she's a big dancer. And so she has to be Team Tight when she's there. So maybe that's why she prefers, you know, when she's exercising and stuff to do.
But that's just like an extension of her, right? So she does that. She's in a costume per se, but then feeling your most authentic self would be a little more baggy. All right. And I'm going to save this one for last because you have to know she has this kind of sarcastic humor, and hopefully you can hear the humor in it. Tracy, one of my clients who wasn't able to join last night. Here's Tracy.
Hi, my name is Tracy. I am weighing in on the controversy if you wear baggy clothes or tight clothes when working out. I am Generation X, but I'm going to weigh in on the controversy. I wear tight clothes. My outfits are basically leggings, but when I'm in the gym, it's definitely, or working out, definitely in my leggings, tank top. It used to be where you wore the long shirts over your booty with the leggings, but now it's waist-high shirts, even crop tops, which I will not lie, I will wear. But I'm all about the comfort when it comes to the gym. I think it's easier. I don't think it's easier to work out in baggy clothes. Plus, in my opinion, I don't think they're as flattering. So, just my opinion. But that's my take. I am Gen X. My name is Tracy, and I wear tight clothes in the gym.
I hope you got this silliness. She's like, and I own this. And I will wear a crop top.
You, girl.
Exactly. And that is it. We're going to wrap up the workout part of this. And now we've got a few topics that we're going to get into after the break that have to do with things that I really would like to carry over into episode 3 that some of our generations are talking about. But again, feel free, if you watch this later, to weigh in yourself. I don't care if you're a baby boomer, if you're a Gen X, if you are in the lost generation. I don't care if you're a grandma, grandpa, all the way down to a 10-year-old. Weigh in because we want to get the generations talking. That's why I started this. And I started looking through, by the way, Jenny, and I was like, oh, people are actually doing other shows like this. Evidently, Ellen DeGeneres did
a
huge one. Right? I didn't know that. So I love getting the generations talking because what we need more of is communication and respect, which, by the way, are topics that came up yesterday. We're going to get to those. Anybody else that wants to weigh in, feel free to do so. Oh, Kristen says, what socks does Zach wear? My son wears crew socks. Zach's in the other room. Zach, what socks do you wear? Long? Oh, Zach's wearing the long ones. Now I
Zach,
figured
you're one
it
of
out.
them.
You're one of them. We are not judging. This is a no judgment
No
zone.
judgment.
Rose, Kristen, are crew socks like halfway up? That's the other thing. Are we talking knee? Are we talking mid thigh? Zach?
Alyssa's are mid thigh, and then she scrunched them down.
Oh,
Like,
remember scrunchy socks?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, those
Yeah.
were ugly.
Yeah.
Zach, where are they?
They are
Hold on.
still a thing.
Where? Mid thigh.
Mid thigh.
Wait, not mid thigh, mid calf.
I was like mid thigh.
Oh wow, really? Is there a garter belt?
He's getting into it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. So we have a few people that weighed in yesterday outside of the workout realm. These are really good. We're going to take a look at Zach and his mid-thigh socks. Hang on.
Hello everyone, Joe Thomaser with Weingarten Vineyard here. Just had a great day at the set of The Real Monica Adams Show. I think the biggest takeaway and the biggest word for the day for me is passion. You can see with her craft of how passionate that she is to provide a different view from what she had done in her past career, now in a new career. She made today so easy, and it was easy for me as well, because we share that passion for what we do. When it's doing interviews on set, giving a different view on life, essentially, and different experiences for you guys. Today could not have gone better. I most definitely encourage you guys to continue to tune in to her shows, and maybe you'll see me back again. You will see me back again. Sorry, Monica.
And welcome back. Hasn't it been a fun show? We're going to go a little past 8 o'clock because we want to hear from a few others. And if it gets you really talking, fantastic. And then maybe we won't carry it over into episode 3. We have so much more to do. One of the future episodes has to do with the topic that came up in the news just a couple of days ago. Adults, should you be sleeping with stuffed animals? Jenny, what do you think?
I'm going to say no.
We're going to weigh on this. Remind me to hang on to that one. Do you still have, by the way, a stuffy?
I do not.
I do. I have Mr. Bear from who. By the way, I don't sleep with him, but he
Are you
still
sure?
exists.
Are you being real and
I'm
telling the truth?
positive. I will always be real to you,
Jim.
Jim, no, but he is in the garage, and he was given to me by my best friend in college, Julie. I don't know if Julie knows. I still have Mr. Bear. Very matted.
So you don't even have him on a shelf?
No,
You
he's
have
just in
him
the garage
in a
on
box?
top of a box of books. Which, by the way, I have way too many books. We need to have a book sale, big time, because imagine all the books from my 30-year career. Mr. Bear is out there, and he's very mad at. He's not as plush looking as he used to be, but he kept me company during my blood clot issue back when I was 19 years old. So I had him, and I brought him to college with me, and he just sat there. I didn't snuggle with him, but I did during my hospital time period. Okay, so he's still there, and I think it's this attachment of, I don't want to necessarily get rid of him because he did a lot for me. So, hey, feel free to drop in anything about that if you want to. But yeah, we could go a little bit deeper into that if you want. People say that there's an adult section on Build-A-Bear.
I have not been in Build-A-Bear in years, so I don't know. But I believe it. That and the weighted stuffed animals, that's a huge thing.
And like a weighted blanket, right? Just
The
snuggle
girls
up.
have weighted dinosaurs, I think. And they're like 5-10 pounds. You can get them.
And how old are your daughters again?
10 and 15.
Okay, so a 15-year-old still has a...
But a weighted thing
I don't
to
care.
me is
It's
still a stuffed animal.
It's still a stuffed animal. It's a heavier one. All right. Hey, everybody, if you're just tuning in, and feel free to tell people, we're going to go a little past 8 o'clock because some people are like, oh, darn it, she wraps up at 8. We're going to go beyond that for you for just a bit, because beyond the workout saga of tight on tight or tight on baggy, and feel free to continue to weigh in if you want. Rose, I am having a heck of a lot of fun today. You're right. Kristen said, yes, she is. Kristen also said yay to Zach for wearing his not thigh high, but calf high socks. So a lot of them are, and I don't know, that's the other thing. Like I would prefer, Jim is kind of this way. Guys, when you're in the gym, are you wearing white or black socks?
I think I've only always seen white.
And he's got black. He says the guys have switched to that.
And Alyssa's very specific. She has to only wear the Nike ones. So again, it's a trend thing, I think.
Okay, I will ask that
It goes
question.
along with, like,
if
the
you're wearing,
Lululemon.
like I like On Clouds. Does On Cloud have socks? If they do, I'll be buying them, I guess.
I don't know.
Puma, if I wear Puma shoes, I have to have Puma socks on.
Yeah.
Okay? To me, it's just I don't know, it's a fashion thing. All you fashion people, what do you think about that? I don't think you can mix those brands up. And I don't wear Nike anyway for many reasons. Nike is out of our house. We got rid of a lot of those things after Colin Kaepernick. You all know, if you know, you know. So no more Nike in the house. So it would be Puma or Adidas, On Cloud. I love Hoka. I don't know if they have socks, but that's what I would want. So if I was putting them together, that they would have to match, even though nobody else
wear
knows.
no-show socks?
I have a couple that my mom gave me.
Okay.
I like those too. These, these can show a little bit, but I don't like the long socks, people. Okay, my Gen Z son will only wear Nike white socks. Oh, white. Okay.
Same thing.
All right. So Jim had some like darker black crew socks on. And so he was talking to me and he's like, no, he's like, this is actually what guys are wearing now. And he's saying that they're here. I think that's
correct.
Ew.
I have seen that.
And black?
Yeah.
Ew. Sorry, Jim. And I think his son actually was doing that as well. Okay, we've got a couple of other topics that I want to thank our team that we talked to yesterday that they weighed in on. Let's hear from Brittany. Now, Brittany's actually does still have to do with the fitness realm, and I agree with her on this, and it's something as a trainer that we've been trying to talk all of you ladies into for a while. Listen to her viewpoint on cardio versus weights.
Hi, my name is Brittany Wilson, coach here in St. Louis. Another disagreement I find with generations is older generations are still in that cardio, high intensity mindset. That's the only style of training they need to be doing to get that shredded look, while Gen Z, younger generations have found that the strength training is actually key to getting the shredded look we're looking for. So more strength days can still add in a little bit of high performance, but we have learned how important strength training is and the difference it makes in doing less cardio and more strength training. So I do find that to still be a disagreement between the generations, but strength training is coming around.
Yes. And actually, I'm just going to say this, Britt, because I've been a trainer since 1999, and there was a girl who got her certificate, one of many certifications that we got. She got her first certification with me, and she was obsessed with cardio. Like literally, I think it was an addiction. And she was almost emaciated looking, still ripped. And then Henry introduced both of us to lifting more. I know a lot of you are still going to jump on the cardio bandwagon, but I'm telling you, you got to do a balance between both. Use cardio for what it should be. It is for the training of the heart muscle. Then you want to get shredded, as she said. You want to get ripped. You want more lean muscle tissue, which, by the way, will eat away at the fat. And while you're just at rest and while we're laughing, instead of actually working out while you're sleeping, you need to have more lean muscle tissue. Where do you get that from? You have to lift weights. And no, you're not going to look like a guy. I think that stigma is still kind of there of, oh my gosh, if I lift weights, I'm going to get big and bulky. No, you're not.
It is.
You're not. You're not. I don't know how many times we have to say it. And you need to eat. I wish she would have said that one too. She does, though, regularly. You should follow her. Britt Wilson, or Brittany Wilson on Instagram and TikTok. She and I are both big proponents of you have to eat more. That's a whole nother show, right, Jenny?
That's right.
Right? All of you clients that I've trained, they're like, no. I can't eat. Right? Well, then you're going to slow your metabolism down. I'm just saying. So weight training, get weight training going. Okay, how about work-life balance? This is a good one. This is from Tori weighing in on work-life balance in her generation.
I'm Tori, and I wish that the boomer generation knew about the Gen Z generation, is that we do work hard, but we also enjoy a great work-life balance.
So that comes from where? Has something been said that you all don't work hard enough, or where do you think that comes from?
Not necessarily, but with a lot of people working from home nowadays, I do feel like there is a little bit of a stigma.
Okay, what do you think about that?
I think she's right.
But we all need the work-life balance.
I agree.
Here's the thing that I'm finding with this generational talk is it's interesting. I don't care where they're Gen Z or millennial, Gen X, baby boomer, etc. It's funny how And they don't want to believe this because they don't want to dare think that their parents or grandparents think the way they do. But when they say these things, which is why we're taping all of this, I come back to them and say, guess what? It's been around for decades. These are the things we dealt with.
Right.
So the work-life balance is really something that we all need. Look, I talk about it all the time. I'm still struggling with that, Tori. I need to find it. The other part was when we started Generational Talk back in December, I had a 27-year-old girl that said, I just wish that the older generation would understand there's not a timeline to everything. And I laughed and I said, what do you mean by that? And she goes, well, that I should already be talking about getting married and I should already have my full-time job. And I was like, that's been around since my mother's generation.
For
Right.
sure.
You think of my mom was actually, she wanted to be older before she got married. She actually said she wanted to beat her mom.
Right.
Her mom got married when she was like, not actually beat, sorry. And we'll have to watch my words. She wanted to get married later in life than her mother did. So her mother got married at like maybe, I don't know, 22, 23, which was probably older for her.
Yeah.
And then my mom got married when she was 25 and didn't have, or maybe a little bit younger, didn't have her first kid till she was 25. And I said, okay, then I'm going to beat that. And I don't want to get married until I'm older. And so it became this thing. Then it kind of started going backwards of get married younger. And now it's back to where are we now? Is it where they're trying to find their career and get married older?
I do think that. Yeah.
But it's always been the cyclical thing of generations. So that, by the way, for all of you that are younger that might see this, that's not new.
No.
And all these things come back in time, 10, 20 years later, just like fashion. It repeats itself. Sometimes it shouldn't.
Yes, it does.
Let's hear on communication. I loved this one. So Melody weighed in on something that I'm very big on, and it's this. Let's hear.
Hi, I'm Melody, and I'm a Generation X. One thing that I wish that the younger generation would realize is how important communication, face-to-face, eye-to-eye contact, and actually one-on-one communication, how important that is. And it's not all about texting or emails or social media. It is really person to person, and it's very important to have that interaction with people.
Okay. Amen. 100 times over. It needs to be taught, I believe, to our younger generation.
They absolutely lack it.
And so I'm going to try to always help the younger generation. I feel bad for them for what happened during the pandemic.
Right.
And they were all stuck at home. All of you parents can probably feel me on this. And then a year and a half later, they finally go back and they're trying to socialize again. And depending on the age, if they were going from coming out of grade school, I still call it grade school because it was grade school for us at Sacred Heart. From kindergarten through 8th grade, that was grade school. Even though people like to correct me. Yes. In a lot of Catholic schools, it's called grade school. And they're like, you mean junior high? No, I mean grade school.
Yeah.
So middle school, we didn't have grade school, junior high, we had grade school. And so if you had kids, junior high or grade school, and they were transitioning and then suddenly they're a freshman, that's even harder.
Yeah.
You think that they're usually on the top of their game at 8th grade and then back and it's like this learning curve.
Yeah.
Well, they were all home learning on these little boxes on Zoom if they were paying attention at all. And then they didn't have socialization skills. And they're still struggling 5 years later. We have a couple more we're going to hear from, but before we do that, I wanted to weigh in on this and ask all of you. So still drop in comments for anything that you feel about this. So Jenny brought up a really good point from your kids that we didn't get a chance to get on tape. You want to talk about that? Because I think this is something that maybe we carry over into our next gen talk.
Yeah, we were just discussing last night about the pressure. She's like, you guys don't understand the pressure that is around us at school, in sports. And I'm like, but the pressure's always been there. I just think it's focused and highlighted differently now.
So she thinks it's magnified?
Yeah, she thinks I don't understand it and what she's going through of having to balance school and sports and a social life.
But don't you all feel that that's always been there? Now, Jenny
do.
and I did talk about this, and she said that she did agree with her daughters that she didn't think that the competitive aspect of where they are was as bad when we were growing up.
Yeah. I ask my parents all the time, I'm like, did I go through this in sports? Like just the pressure of needing to be more all the time instead of just commending you for where you're at and how far you've already come. That's great, but we need more. And I just feel like it takes a sense of confidence away from them.
And what did you play?
I was a cheerleader
Cheer-
and I did dance.
and cheer and
She
dance.
plays volleyball.
Okay.
So
So parents, by the way, weigh in on that for me, because I'm going to tell you, I played select soccer. I played softball, basketball, select soccer, and then I played for the Junior Olympics. So there was a high level of being the best, being the best, being
so
the
you
best.
did feel that then.
I did feel it. And that's why I'm looking at it going, well, I don't know. I guess it depends. I was in dance and gymnastics, tap, all of that when I was younger growing up. And I've been brought back to it in the dance world. But I do believe that I always felt I wanted to be the best. And it wasn't demanding of me by my parents. But my dad was a coach in football, and then in my brother's baseball and football, and he helped out with my basketball and soccer. And it was never that it was, you got to be the best, or we're going to take this away from you, or you're not going to get an allowance, or all this. But it was, you want to be your absolute best.
Yeah.
So he taught that to me at a very young age, which still I apply to my everyday work.
Right.
I'm not looking for perfection. I think that's the dark side of the world that's out there.
Yeah.
We had Travis Snyder on with 3A Athletics, and he was just on CBS News, which I thought was really cool. Michelle, thank you for sending me that article. And he talked about being at the plate, being the best player on the team, and then getting mortified and shut down in the mental health.
Right.
Because all eyes looking at him that he's got to be the best because he was the best on the team.
Yeah.
And then what you have is your parents and your coach and the refs and the umps and everybody and all of the players looking, and God forbid you don't hit a home run every time.
Right.
So that pressure, what I do believe is happening, you all agree with this, is there's more of this mental health strife of our kids, and they feel so alone, which we're trying to help them with. I do believe that mental health is being talked about more, though, which is a good thing. I do believe that we struggled, but nobody talked about it. It was kind of, I will say this, our parents back then were more so of just brush it off and get back out there. I literally, not that I should have, but maybe this was the bad mentality. I wanted to be the best, be the best, be the best, that I was playing goal in college. I dove for a ball. I came down with my elbow into my rib cage. I broke a rib and was spitting up blood and asked to not be taken. My best friend at the time, I'm like, don't tell the coach, don't tell the coach. I don't want to come out of the game.
Oh no.
Oh, that was silly,
Yeah.
right? That's just stupid. I look back at it now going, I probably punctured a lung.
Right.
Right. And didn't go to the hospital for it. And that's not good. Those are the pressures that we put on ourselves, though, by what's around us.
And I also think to that comment, like a lot of the mindset training is not there at all. I have a dear friend that is a club owner for volleyball, and I applaud him so much because he takes the time to focus on his athletes' mindset and then their agility, along as just not being on the court all the time. And there's something to be said about that all of that goes hand in hand to build these kids to what they need to be.
Well, there's a reason, especially even in high-end professional athletics, that there are sports psychologists that have to work with them.
Yeah.
You know, you think about that you've got this player that is, again, at the top of their game, but then all of a sudden they're getting close to retiring, and then they lose their identity.
Yeah.
Or they get an injury and they're taken out.
For sure.
Right, and they're trying to figure out how to deal with that.
Right.
Let's see. Let's go back to some of these comments. My son has both black and white socks. He has fashion too, so he changes it up at Nike only. Okay. Max couldn't care less what socks he wears. Does he wear socks? Jamie, Monica was strength training me before strength training was cool. That's right, Jamie. Jamie looked amazing right now, by the way. Michelle, love those Invita Health and Wellness ladies. I know. And then we missed, by the way, somebody asked me the other day, when's Dr. Sarah coming back on? I would love, Sarah, you got to get back on with us because we need Medical Mondays back. I love Medical Mondays so much.
Good.
Diane, yes. Person to person. I know you're big on that. Person to person communication. Look them in the eye. Get them. Do they still do public speaking in school? Because that's where it comes from.
Well, McKenna just went through that amazing shake round, and it's all about that.
Good. It needs to come back. Get them
I don't know that every school
off
has
of
that.
these.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally in a room with each other and they're texting. It's so silly.
Yeah.
Big on teaching this to my kids, 7 and 13, Jamie says. We've always had them order their own food at restaurants and ask for what they need.
Yes.
Nice
Good
job,
girl.
Mom.
That's right.
Michelle, definitely more pressure with sports now than the seasons are longer than they used to be in overlap.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you, it's not true. I played it. It's not. There is not more pressure. There isn't. It's just the belief of it. Travel sports seem to be more dominant. See, but we did that. Maybe I was I don't think
I
so.
think it was your sport, though.
Soccer?
Yeah. I mean, I think soccer's always been like that.
It has.
My brother played soccer, and I think he kind of did
Okay,
the
that's a
same
good point
thing.
then.
So I think...
So I don't know about baseball, if they did it back then.
I don't know.
Let's see. So travel sports seem to be more dominant and honestly takes away from academics and cost parents a lot more. Okay, so
100%.
She's literally describing my life, though.
Yeah,
I mean, ask my
that's
mom.
ours,
It's what we did. It was actually had to get to a point where my mom was like, Monica, I can't be running you to all of this because I got to get the kids, the boys also,
I know.
to theirs. But for what ended up happening was you split. And my dad would go on the bus trips to all of the different, like, you know, we were going all over the United States playing. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was a rarity. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was my sport. They do have public speaking in high school. So important. It is. Okay, we're going to take one final break. We've got just a few more things. One of them has to do with respect, and the other has to do with technology. Okay? Those two final generation talk topics when we return.
My house is so outdated and old. Can you help?
Let's take down this wall and add a support beam there.
Or just replace the furniture.
I love it.
New sofa, chaise lounge, and tables from Carol House.
What about this bedroom?
Let's tear down this wall.
Or our new bed, dresser, and accessories.
It's like a whole new room.
Get free in-home design, fast free delivery, and free financing too. Skip the remodel. Add new furnishings from Carol House for your new perfect room. Because you like nice things.
Welcome back. All right, we've been doing a lot of generational talk today. We started off with the tight on tight, tight on baggy topic that's really big on TikTok right now. And then what I wanted to do was this question that any of you, if you want to shoot a video and send it to me, this is what we used to do when I was at Channel 5. It's called user-generated content. So if you want to email me, and if it's too long of a file, maybe put it in a Google link or a WeTransfer. Let's start doing this. Let's get you involved in the show. info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. All you have to do is film a video, do me a favor, and film it this way. All right, this is horizontal or landscape. That way it fits on our entire screen. If you forget and you put it vertical, it's okay. We'll work with it. I want you to do this. Say, hi, I am, and I just wish this generation, whatever the generation is, older or younger than you, understood this about my generation. So you're just filling in the blanks, okay? Again, hi, I'm, and actually tell me where you're watching from. Hi, I'm Sue. I'm watching from Barnhart. I just wish baby boomers understood this about my Gen X generation. And it could be whatever it may be that you want us to have better respect and talking together. Speaking of respect, Elena weighed in on this, and I think it's very interesting. She almost didn't record this because she felt that she was going to get haters. I promise you, I got your hand because I know where you were going with this. So let's hear what Elena has to say.
I think that generations older than me should be showing respect to us if they want respect in return. I feel like back in the day, people would show respect to people who weren't respecting them, which I feel like with Gen Z, we are going to only show respect if you're showing respect to us.
Okay, do you understand? I know that could be controversial. That could be controversial. And if we need to carry this over into another one, we can. She almost didn't do it. And I said, no, I want you to because I agree with you. What she's saying, folks, so don't hate on her. She's not saying that she doesn't want to respect. We had a discussion before I taped her. She said that she believes generations that are a little bit older than her show respect to everyone, even if someone's mean to you and bullying you and ignorant to you. So I use the analogy of a waitress waiting on a table of people that are so unbelievably ignorant, but the manager says, no matter what, you've got to take care of them. At that point, I almost think I would come back and go, I'm not waiting on them anymore. They are so rude. You take them over or find somebody else to take them over. Or as a manager, go tell them that they've got to get out of here. I agree with her. You do not respect someone who doesn't respect you.
I agree.
So that's where she's coming from. She's not saying that her generation doesn't respect, but she believes that a lot of people judge their generation and say you have no respect for the older generation.
I always tell my girls, you don't have to tolerate it, but you don't also have to be mean either at the same time.
True.
Just hold your head high, turn around, walk away. Kill them with kindness.
Yeah,
you know,
right? What mom hasn't said that to their kid? If you haven't, start saying it again because we've got to bring that back. Kindness, kindness, kindness will end up irritating them and they'll move on. All right, the last one is about technology. Jamie weighing in on this, and I love her humor in this.
I'm Jamie. I'm a millennial, and I'm talking to the Gen Zs. We are not that old. We grew up with the internet as well. It was dial up, it wasn't as fast, but we're not boomers just because we don't understand all the new TikTok trends.
Exactly.
So true.
Right? We do know technology, but it's so funny because no matter what, even though I'm trying to get our generations to talk together, I know you're still going to judge us no matter whether you're younger or you're older. If you're older, you're going to say that we don't have as hard of a life as you did. And I will say that forgotten generation, they are the toughest, bad, as
That's right.
you know.
That's
Our
right.
grandmas, our grandpas, our great grandmas, our grandpas, they worked, and I do mean hard, and
Very much so.
in fields that none of us could ever even understand. So I'm going to give them mad props because I don't think that we are as tough as their generations. So probably that's why some of you younger kids hear that of you have no clue what it really means to work
That's right.
and to be busy.
And they would work multiple jobs, and it was nothing. I mean, they would just go along with the work-life balance flawlessly.
That's where I'm an old soul because I have 6 jobs.
That's what's wrong with you.
I've called this all the time that I have job ADD. All right, wasn't this fun? This has to be a regular segment. It's called Generational Talk, or because kids like to cut everything down, it's Gen Talk. Jen, it's your talk. All right, so if there's any topics, here's what I'm going to ask you now. Not only do I want your videos, but if there's any topics that you would like for us to cover in a future Generational Talk episode, send them my way. info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. We always ask you, are there topics? Are there guests? Do you want to become a sponsor of the show? Do you want to book a mobile Monica? We would love for you to do so because we could take this and just have fun with you at a diner somewhere for breakfast and start talking to everybody there.
And who wouldn't want the two of us?
Exactly. I mean, come on, drop the mic on that. I also have something new from a business standpoint, which is, yesterday we just kind of did it for Envita Health and Wellness, but how about businesses? They get spotlighted by us doing Gen Talk from their business. And then your entire business takes that over for the day. And all of maybe it's your employees, but it also could be your customers weighing in on these really fun topics. Okay, Jen, you're going to pick for me. What would you like the devotional to be for today?
Let's see. What were my choices?
So fear and anxiety, which we just did yesterday.
Yeah.
Shame, anger, depression, overeating.
Let's do depression. Maybe
Depression.
somebody needs to hear it today.
Okay. So what we've been saying is fear and anxiety is chosen a lot. And I believe that fear and anxiety lead into all these other ones, right? So people get depressed and people feel shame and they feel anger and they overeat and they have different addictions. So this one's called The Peace of God. It's day 29 of 100 Days to Freedom from Depression, which normally, by the way, Jenny drops in everything for you, but I needed her today. So you didn't have a moderator, but we'll go back and drop some things in that you might need to know. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This is Philippians 4, verse 7. So our world history is full of stories of people on the hunt for peace. Some people convinced that if they could conquer their enemy, they'd have peace. They led wars that dragged on for years, though. Some people are convinced that if they acquire enough money, they find fame, or marry the right person, they will finally be at peace. But the Bible tells us that true peace can't be found in earthly things. When our worlds have turned upside down through tragedy or illness and all worldly assurances fail, God's peace remains steadfast. Isaiah 54:10 says, "Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you." These words remind us that even when everything's falling apart and we are powerless, God's peace remains. This verse is a declaration and a promise that when we focus on God, our turbulent times fade in comparison. Some of the heroes of the Bible at times appeared on the brink of devastation or annihilation, surrounded by their enemies or a sickness, and some of them at first approached their situation with human reasoning and worldly tactics and then met with failure. But when they turned their focus to God and surrendered, they were able to press on through the trial, rising above the circumstances that were around them. Peace is a gift from God given to believers simply because of who God is and what Jesus Christ did for us. That promise of peace is then ours for the asking. Corrie ten Boom said, "Never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God." Jesus did not promise to change the circumstances around us. He promised great peace and pure joy to those who would learn to believe that God actually controls all things. Paul Chappelle said, because of the empty tomb, we have peace. Because of his resurrection, we can have peace during even the most troubling of times because we know he is in control of all that happens in the world. And Thomas Watson said, if God be our God, he will give us peace in trouble. When there's a storm without, he will make peace within. The world can create trouble and peace, but God can create peace in trouble. Think about that one for a second. Here's your prayer for today. Loving Father, please give me calm and peace in the middle of my storm. My ground's shaky, but I know you're my steady rock. Help me to remember what you've done in my past so I can move into my future with you. Amen to that.
So good.
So good. All right. Tomorrow, is there anything in particular that you would like for me to focus on in the gym? Because we're going to do a little workout Wellness Wednesday. What do you think?
Let's do some legs.
Oh, my girls are not happy today. That worked
They're
out
hurting.
yesterday. Oh, they are probably barely getting up. We did a true bun blaster yesterday. But you want like inner thighs?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's
we're
do
going
all
to do
this.
those. They're called your adductor muscles. We're going to work on those. If they're a little jiggly, we got to tighten them up. So how about that? We're going to hit the gym tomorrow on a Workout Wellness Wednesday. And then I always ask you, what can I do for you? Is there something in the body, something in the health realm, the realm of health that falls under that umbrella? In the wellness aspect of life, shoot me an email and I will do that topic for you. Tomorrow's going to be for Jenny, but I just did one for a lady that was in her 60s about belly fat. And I said it starts in the kitchen. It all has to do with
That was
cleaning up
good,
our
Joe.
diets. Thursday, Positive Talk Time back at Yuppie Puppies Forever Rescue with Jessica Cook. And then on Friday, Dot Fleshman's back with us, a little Friendship Friday and some real estate talk as well. So we've got a great week planned for you. And all you have to do, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And then share it. Right now, do me a favor, get your phones out. Make sure you are following our page or are subscribed to our YouTube channel, which does not cost anything. It just means you get notified when we go on live. And I'm seeing more and more of you go on to YouTube, which is great. Be sure to do that for those that don't want to be on social media. Jenny, thank you.
You are welcome. Thank
Did you have fun?
I had blast.
Yes, I knew we would laugh today. And to all of you, I hope you did as well. Share this show. Get everybody talking. Let's get the generations together. Have a beautiful day. Remember what we always ask you to do.
Be kind.
God bless you. Bye-bye.